So, with around 1 in 3 of us afraid to fly, we thought we'd help one viewer. David Berlin is desperate to see his sister get married in Mallorca this summer, but there is a hitch, as well as hers. He's so petrified of flying that he's not actually sure he's going to make it.
So, here at This Morning, we thought we'd send him to meet with the Speakmans, who are at West London Aero Club, to try and cure him. It's a massive challenge, but can they do it? Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Hi, we're here with David, who, like you say, has got or had the most terrible fear of flying. It's something that it started when he was 17 years of age and has really caused him a huge problem in his life.
Okay. So you're a musical performer, David, currently on tour with Jesus Christ Superstar. So thankfully, not a lot of flying involved in that.
Yes.
Up and down the country, probably on the motorways. But you've got this big wedding coming up in the summer.
We are also going to Germany, though.
Oh, well, there you are, you see.
You need a plane for that.
Yeah.
With the wedding in the summer, when did this fear of flying start? Because I know that initially, when you were a child, you didn't have a problem.
Yeah, well, it started when I was 17, 18. I went on a school trip, luckily to New York, and just the people around me and some of the instances, like the turbulence and stuff, just freaked me out, and have not been the same ever since.
So
and
tell
how
me
do you
about that turbulence.
You've contingency plans, haven't you?
That turbulence, because you had one particular flight which really did shake you up, didn't it?
Yeah, that was a few years later when I was working abroad and I was flying back, and it was that 15 hours of just horrific flying, yeah.
It's amazing, actually, that, like David said, one thing that we found and something that we've been working with David this morning is actually helping him to understand turbulence, because that really causes a huge problem for a lot of people, and we've had to make him understand and help him to understand. It's just like waves on the ocean. But up until today, on the times that, you know, David has faced flying, you've had quite a few contingency plans that you've had to put in place, haven't you?
Yeah, one of them is drinking quite a lot.
Alcohol.
Alcohol, yeah. To be able to get a bit of Dutch courage to get me on the plane.
We're talking a lot of alcohol, by the way.
A lot, yeah.
Okay.
Or there was an instance this year where I decided to get a ferry over flight, an 8-hour ferry over like a 40-minute flight.
But you often feel better if you're with other people. It's when you're alone that you have the biggest problem.
Well, when I'm with like people I know, they can kind of drag me on the flight and calm me down, but I've not had to do a flight on my own for a long time, which I'm going to have to do for my sister's wedding. Yeah. So I'm a bit worried about that.
And that said, that we actually, when we came here earlier, we had David stood about 20 feet away from this plane. We tried to take him closer to it. He said that his anxiety was a 9 out of 10, 20 feet away. And when we moved slightly closer and asked him if he'd get in the plane, he completely refused. He said he would not get in the plane at all.
So we've had quite a tough challenge, really, but we've been working with David, and we're pleased with what's happened so far. We've not got him in a plane yet, and obviously the big test is getting him up in the sky, which hopefully... Our heart's in our mouth, but hopefully we'll be able to do that.
So you'll have to join us later and see if we can get him up there.
How are you feeling right now, David?
Nervous. Yeah, very nervous.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we're going to see how you get on.
We will get you to Mallorca. Hopefully. Not in that, obviously.
No. Earlier, we saw the Speakmans embark on one of their biggest challenges ever to help David Berlin overcome his fear of flying so he can see his sister walk down the aisle in Mallorca.
Well, the big question is, did he do it? Let's cross live now to the Speakmans are there, the plane is there.
Where is
Would
David?
you like to explain what's happened?
Well, we've just landed and we had a lovely flight.
It was an amazing flight. We really enjoyed it. And we've got something to reveal to you. Look who came with us.
Yay! David, how was it?
Well done.
It was a completely different experience to how I've ever flown before. It was amazing. I feel euphoric on cloud 9.
Is it?
You know, for us, the most nerve-wracking part for us is when we're actually waiting to taxi and we're on that runway. And I think we've just got a little clip to show you what actually happened earlier.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
OK. Matt, you can take off.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Woo! In the air.
Wow.
Yay! Point of no return.
You've done it. Andy's smiling.
Woo, woo, woo.
Now, it's a very relaxed-looking David there, but there was actually a scary moment during the flight, wasn't there?
There was a very scary moment. We hit some turbulence and the plane literally dropped down. David was OK. Harry, our cameraman, had a wobbler, and guess who coached him through it?
We were told that the plane dropped about 15 feet. So in the past, the old David would have been very worried about that. So how do you feel?
Yeah, I'd have been.
Over the fact that we're fighting over a delay now, so hang on a second, I'll ask it to you again. So how do you feel now, looking back at the old David, to how you cope with that?
It's just mental. Like, I was completely relaxed and I understood why it was happening. Whereas before, I would have just been in an absolute state in bits. You know, crying, sweating, you know, so the fact that I can just... it was fine.
Is your sister watching, David?
I was like, oh, yeah, no. Possibly. I think she might be at work, so she might see this later.
But what's fantastic is that when is the wedding? Because I know that this is the next big thing.
Yeah, August.
So in August, you are happy to get on a plane and fly over to Mallorca and sing at your sister's wedding?
Yeah, absolutely. There's one less thing for my sister to worry about now.
Oh, bless.
All right, so Nick and Eva, there'll be people who are nervous about flying who are going to say, how the hell did you do that
again?
Yeah, I know.
Well, do you know what? The key thing is, don't blame the plane. In David's case, he went away for the first time away from his parents. He felt vulnerable, he felt alone, and instead of realising he was missing his parents, he actually blamed the plane, and that's where it stemmed from.
It's not the plane's fault.
We just reminded him that a plane had taken... No,
it's not the plane's fault.
And up until that moment, a plane had taken him to fantastic places and he'd always got there safely and had an amazing time. So we just kind of helped him to realise that and realise that planes are actually fantastic. Well,
just in conclusion, David, you've flown in a very tiny single-engine aeroplane there. You've encountered a little bit of turbulence. The next plane should obviously be a much larger Airbus or a 737 or something like that to take you to Mallorca. So what we thought we'd do, if you're up for it, on us, we'll just fly you somewhere in the country there and back on a bigger plane. Are you up for that?
Yeah, of course.
Choose any destination, Birmingham, Glasgow.
Or if you're on tour somewhere, where are you on tour at the moment?
We start Nottingham next week.
Well, what we'll do is we'll fly you to London to your nearest airport on a bigger plane so that you can actually arrive by air to your next performance.
Oh, my God, that's amazing.
How exciting is that?
You'll have to share it with other passengers. It's not yours, by the way. I'm not Cowell.
Yeah. I think even he hires one.
Well done, guys. Thank you, David.
Done.
It's
Another triumph.
Brilliant to see.
Thank
Nick and Eva, once again, an amazing success.
They're so good.
You may remember that last week we sent David Berlin off to meet the Speakmans to conquer his fear of flying. He's desperate to see his sister get married in Mallorca this summer, but he's very worried that he won't make it. So you can see here that he was genuinely concerned that he'd actually managed to... He'd gone on a flight and then cancelled it because he was too frightened to come back. He's in musical theatre, and so he couldn't actually fly anywhere. And so we decided that we would send him off in a plane with the Speakmans in an attempt to cure him. And so this was him on the small plane when he went with the Speakmans. So if you're terrified of flying, here he is. Let's have a listen.
Woo!
In the air?
Wow.
Yay! Point of no return.
You've done it. Andy's smiling.
Woo, woo, woo.
Just amazing. So he managed to conquer that fear. And then we thought, right, OK, well, that's a tiny plane. If he's going to go to Mallorca to go to his sister's wedding, then he needs to go in a plane that is the same size. And so we sent him on that. And we've got him on Skype right now. And so let's find out. So with the tiny plane was one thing. What about the big plane?
The big plane was amazing. It was it's like a different experience. I was relaxed, I was calm. It was almost enjoyable.
Wow,
So
that's incredible. Almost enjoyable. From where you were initially, would you ever have believed you would have said that it was almost enjoyable?
No, not at all. Never. I never thought. I genuinely thought I wouldn't be able to be cured. I was almost a bit of a sceptic at first, but the Speakmans are genuinely amazing.
They're wizards. What does your sister think? She must be so relieved.
She's really happy.
Well, we asked you to go on a flight to Belfast for us. Did we just send you to Belfast and bring you straight back, or did we allow you to get off?
I had a few hours in Belfast. I've been there a few times with the show, so yeah, it's nice. It's a great city, so it's quite nice. Yeah.
Well, let's have a look and see how you did.
Hi, my name's David, and after my session with the Speakmans last week on my fear of flying, I have been sent here to John Lennon Airport in Liverpool. I'm sat in the departure lounge. I'm relaxed. Don't need alcohol. I've got myself a coffee. Just walking to the plane. When I used to do this, I used to be panicking and getting really upset and really kind of stressed out. Taxiing's fine. Takeoff is fine. I'm having laughs and jokes. The crew have been amazing for me as well. So yeah, I totally think I'm cured.
Amazing stuff.
David.
That's great.
And you're on tour at the moment. Where are you? You're with Jesus Christ Superstar.
Nottingham tonight.
Nottingham.
And when is the wedding?
Yeah. August, bank holiday weekend.
Wow.
And what are you singing, David?
Oh, yeah, good question.
I can't tell you one thing, because not even the wedding party know. I'm singing a John Lennon song at the ceremony. I'm also singing my sister's first dance, and I'm doing a bit of a set afterwards.
Amazing.
But some of it's quite secretive.
And amazingly, you can fly there and feel happy about it, having been sorted by the Speakmans.
I know. I mean, thank you so much for everyone, for the Speakmans and for your help. It's been amazing.
Good.
It's like changed my life.
It's been
Well
lovely
done,
to meet you,
well
David.
done. And let's talk to the Speakmans, because I think we've got the Speakmans on the phone now. Nick and Eva, hiya.
Hi.
Hello.
You must be, I mean, you're not surprised by this because you see it all the time, but you must be thrilled at that result.
Do you know what? It never stops feeling just absolutely fantastic to help somebody, Philip, and David's absolutely brilliant, and well done, David. So proud of you.
How did you manage to do it then? For anyone who didn't watch that initial show that we did with David originally, how do you approach someone? There are many people about to go on holiday this year, taking their families, and it spoils the holiday because they're so terrified to get on the plane.
My husband's one of them.
Is he? Yeah. So what do you do?
Well, you know what? The two key things, really. Firstly, understanding how planes work. And a lot of people suffer with issues with turbulence. And, you know, and turbulence are just different air pressure, you know, hot and cold. And that's what causes that. And in a lot of ways, it's like, you know, driving a car down a cobbled street. That's one part of it. But the other part of it is if people have had a bad experience, what they've done, instead of blaming the experience for what it was, they've blamed the plane. And therefore, they've become frightened of the plane, if that makes sense.
So, so as far as David's concerned, you know, that's it for life now. He's fixed.
He is. Absolutely.
Amazing.
He is.
Amazing. What a great result.
Oh, you need to go and work at Hogwarts.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.